It was 2:17 a.m. when the night split open with a crackle, a pop, and the most triumphant scream I'd ever heard, like Karen, my next-door nightmare, had just discovered her Prada purse was a knockoff. Except it wasn't her purse. It was her son's ATV Charger, sizzling in her backyard, lighting up the dark like a 4th of July finale gone rogue. And me? I was sipping tea in my workshop, grinning like I'd just won the lottery. She had it coming. Oh, she had it so coming. You don't mess with an electrical engineer's grid and think you'll stroll away unscathed. Not in my neighborhood. Not on my watch. Hey, if you're loving this already, drop a comment below with your wildest neighbor story. I'll read every one. Let's dive in, because this is where it gets good. I'm Jake, by the way, a systems engineer who spends his days designing power setups for tech giants and his nights tinkering with my home solar array. Electricity's my thing. My love language, if you will. I live in a tidy little suburb outside Raleigh. Think manicured lawns, cul-de-sacs, and HOA meetings that drone on about mailbox fonts. It's quiet, mostly. People wave, kids bike, dogs bark. I keep to myself, tweaking my energy logs, chasing efficiency like it's a sport. But about 6 months ago, I noticed something off. A blip. A tiny, sneaky dip in my power readings that didn't add up. It started small, 1.3 kilowatt hours vanishing between midnight and 3 a.m. every night. Not my AC. Not my fridge. Not even the security lights I'd rigged by the shed. I've got every watt in this house tracked like a hawk. Smart meters, custom apps, the works. Most folks wouldn't blink at a flicker like that, but I'm not most folks. I pulled the logs, crunched the numbers, and there it was, something external was sipping my juice. That's when I started eyeing the fence line and Karen. She'd moved in a couple years back after a loud divorce, all designer shades and a voice that could wake a coma patient. You know the type, thinks boundaries are for other people. She'd bark at kids for skateboarding too close to her azaleas, host wine-soaked brunches that spilled into the street, and dodge HOA fines like it was an Olympic event. Her latest obsession? This tricked-out electric ATV she'd gotten her 16-year-old son, Tyler. Thing roared like a chainsaw on steroids, electric, sure, but loud enough to rattle your teeth. And it needed power. Lots of it. One Saturday, I'm out pruning my hedges, and I spotted a bright yellow extension cord snaking over the fence from her side, disappearing behind my shed. I squinted. No way. I don't have outdoor outlets back there, or so I thought. That night, I flipped off every breaker but one, just to test. Next morning, bam, 1.3 kilowatt hours gone at 2:04 a.m. I grabbed my flashlight, traced the fence, and there it was, the cord, pulled back to her side like a guilty kid hiding candy. I snapped pics before it vanished completely. Now, I'm not the confrontational type. I like my peace, my circuits, my quiet. So I figured I'd give her a chance to fess up. I stroll over the next day, ring her bell. She answers in yoga pants and a smirk, clutching a mimosa like it's 11 a.m. on a reality show. Hey, Karen, I say, casual as can be. Noticed some weird power drains lately. Any chance someone over here tapped my outlet by mistake? She blinks, tilts her head, and laughs, a sharp, grating cackle. Oh, that? Yeah, we borrowed a little charge while our garage panel's getting fixed. You've got solar, Jake. It's not like you're hurting for it. I stare. That's not how it works. It's still theft, even if it's small. She pats my arm like I'm a toddler throwing a fit. Relax, tech guy. It's just a trickle. You won't miss it. I bite my tongue, nod, and walk away before I say something I can't take back. But my brain's already spinning. She didn't just steal, she laughed it off. Insulted my craft. My grit. Oh, Karen, you've just flipped the wrong switch. Back home, I'm pacing. I could call the HOA, but they're useless. Karen's got half the board wrapped around her manicured finger. I could cut my power entirely, but why should I suffer? No, this called for something sharper. Smarter. I grab a notepad and start sketching. A decoy outlet. A little trap, legal, safe, but devastating. Something to fry her charger without frying her son. She wants my power? Fine. She'll get it, my way. That night, I rig it up. A fake outlet, tucked by the shed, wired to a custom circuit. It's subtle, looks legit, tempting, unguarded. But it's got a trick. Anything pulling over 2.5 amps gets a surge, just enough to toast electronics without a spark big enough to scare the fire marshal. I tested on an old lamp, poof, fried in seconds. Perfect. I set it, sip my coffee, and wait. 3 nights later, my phone pings, power draw detected. I flip on my camera feed, and there's Tyler, sneaking over the fence, plugging in. At 2:17 a.m., the flash lights up my screen. Pop scream. Smoke. Karen's hollering like her world's ending, and I'm laughing so hard I nearly spill my tea. But that was just the warm-up. She had no idea what was coming next, because when you poke an engineer, you don't just get a spark. You get a storm. The morning after Karen's backyard turned into a smoke show, I woke to the sound of her flip-flops slapping the pavement, her voice cutting through the dawn like a chainsaw through butter. Sabotage? That lunatic next door tried to torch us, she bellowed, loud enough to wake half of Raleigh. I stood at my kitchen window, coffee in hand, watching her stomp around in a neon tracksuit, phone glued to her ear, spinning a tale of victimhood that'd make a soap opera blush. The ATV was under a tarp, a sad little crime scene, and Tyler was out there in his pajamas, poking at the charred charger like it was a dead possum. I smirked. Round one. Me. But Karen wasn't done, she never is. By noon, I had a visitor, some HOA suit named Brian, all khakis and a clipboard, looking like he'd rather be golfing. Mr. Dawson, he says, puffing out his chest, we've had a complaint. You can't just rig up random outlets along a shared fence. It's a hazard. I raised an eyebrow, leaning against my porch rail. Hazard? Funny, because last I checked, stealing power's the real violation. That outlet's on my property, wired to code. Want to see the permits? He blinks, scribbling something, clearly unprepared for pushback. Well, Karen says it nearly electrocuted her kid. I laughed, couldn't help it. Tell you what, Brian. Check her side of the fence. See who plugged in first. He mutters about further review and shuffles off, but I knew this wasn't over. Karen doesn't back down, she doubles down, every time. And me? I don't scare easy. I'd spent years wiring grids for data centers that could power small cities. Some entitled mom with a mimosa habit wasn't about to outsmart me. That night, I upped the ante. I wasn't waiting for her next move, I was making mine. I bolted a tiny data logger to that fake outlet, synced it to my phone. Any draw, any twitch, I'd know. Then I grabbed some old birdhouses from the garage, stuffed them with motion cameras, and planted them along the fence. One aimed at the outlet, one at her yard, one at the gap where Tyler liked to sneak. All feeding live to my server, backed up to the cloud. If she so much as breathed on my grid again, I'd have her on tape. 3 nights ticked by, quiet as a graveyard. I almost thought she'd learned almost. Then, at 1:49 a.m., my phone lit up. Power draw detected, 2.6 kilowatt hours and climbing. My heart kicked into gear. I opened the feed, and there he was, Tyler, shirtless, fumbling with a new cord, plugging into my trap like a moth to a flame. I held my breath, counting down. 3, 2, flash. The screen flared blue, the charger sparked, and the ATV let out this pitiful wheeze, like it was begging for mercy. Tyler yelped, stumbling back, arms flailing like he'd seen a ghost. Smoke curled up, lazy and smug, and I punched the air, adrenaline surging. Gotcha, I whispered to the dark. But the real kicker? Karen didn't scream this time. She came barreling out in a robe, hair wild, face red as a stoplight, and just stared. No yelling, no tantrum, just this cold, furious glare aimed straight at my house. I froze, coffee halfway to my lips. That look wasn't defeat, it was war. And I felt it in my bones. She was plotting something big. My pulse raced, not from fear, but from the thrill. She thought she could outlast me? Bring it on. Next morning, I'm printing screenshots, timestamps, voltage logs, camera stills, when my neighbor Sarah taps on my door. She's quiet, sweet, always waving from her garden. Jake, she says, twisting her hands, did you do something to Karen's ATV? I grin, ready to spill, but she cuts in. Because my porch lights keep resetting at night. Like, 2 a.m. weird. You think? My jaw drops. No way. I invite her in, pull up my logs, and show her the pattern. Her eyes widen. That's when it happens. She gasps. Then Mike from across the street texts me. Hey man, my garage fridge keeps warming up overnight. You notice anything funky? It hits me like a freight train. Karen wasn't just leeching off me. She was running a whole operation, siphoning power from half the block. Sarah's lights, Mike's fridge, who knows what else? She'd turned our neighborhood into her personal power buffet. My blood boiled, but my mind raced faster. This wasn't just my fight anymore. I grabbed my phone, started a group chat, Karen's grid heist, and added Sarah and Mike. Meet me tonight, I typed. We're ending this. By dusk, we're huddled in my living room, Sarah, Mike, And now Priya from 2 doors down, who swears her breaker's been tripping for weeks. I play the footage, Tyler sneaking, the sparks, the smoke. They gasp, then laugh, then get mad, real mad. She's been at it for months, Priya says, voice shaking. My catering business lost a whole freezer of inventory. Mike slams a fist on my table. That's why my beer's warm. Sarah's quiet, but her eyes are fire. What's the plan, Jake? She asks. I lean in, voice low, electric with purpose. We catch her red-handed. All of us. She's not just stealing she's stealing from our lives. Let's light her up. And right then, as the sun dips low and the group chat pings with new names, Tom, Lisa, Raj, I know we're not just neighbors anymore. We're a crew. Karen's about to learn what happens when you plug into the wrong people. The storm's brewing, and I'm holding the switch. The air in my living room buzzed with something electric, not my circuits this time, but the raw, crackling anger of a dozen neighbors packed shoulder to shoulder, eyes locked on my laptop screen. It was 8 p.m., the cicadas humming outside, and the Karen's grid heist chat had ballooned to 15 members in a day, folks I'd barely nodded to before, now united by a single, glorious grudge. I hit play on the latest footage, Tyler, caught mid-sneak, plugging that cursed cord into my decoy outlet. The flash lit up their faces, the pop echoed in the room, and when the smoke curled up, Mike let out a whoop so loud my windows rattled. That's my beer avenged, he roared, and the room erupted, laughter, gasps, fist pounding the air. It wasn't just funny anymore. It was personal. Sarah leaned forward, her voice trembling with a fury I didn't know she had. Jake, my garden lights, those resets cost me a whole season of roses. She's been at this forever. Priya nodded, clutching a coffee mug like it was a lifeline. That freezer I lost? $300 of pastries for a wedding gone. I had to refund the bride out of pocket. Tom, the guy with the tricked-out grill, crossed his arms, jaw tight. My outdoor speakers cut out during the Super Bowl party. Thought it was a fluke. Now I know it was her. Every story piled on, a chorus of outrage, and my chest tightened, not just from their losses, but from the sheer audacity of it. Karen hadn't just stolen power. She'd stolen moments, birthdays, quiet nights, hard-earned joys. I stood up, pacing, my voice sharp enough to cut glass. She's not some petty leech, she's a parasite, sucking us dry, one cord at a time. And she thinks we're too dumb to notice. The room hummed, a live wire of agreement. So what do we do? Lisa asked, her toddler asleep on her shoulder. I grinned, slow and wicked. We don't just catch her. We bury her. Evidence, footage, logs, everything. She's not slinking away from this one. Their eyes lit up, and I felt it, the shift from victims to hunters. Game on. Next morning, I'm out by the fence, tweaking my setup, when Raj jogs over, phone in hand. Jake, check this, my RV hookup's been tampered with. Found a cord mark in the dirt. My pulse spiked. Another hit. I dragged him to my workshop, pulled up my grid map, and we started plotting, every dip, every flicker from the last 6 months. Sarah's lights, Priya's breaker, Tom's speakers, now Raj's RV, it wasn't random. It was a network, a web of theft stretching across the block. My hand shook as I synced the data, adrenaline pumping. She's been at this since the ATV showed up, I said, voice low. That's 4 months of free juice on us. Across town, Karen's oblivious, or pretending to be. Mike texts me from his porch. She's out there, hosing her lawn, sunglasses on, acting like nothing's wrong. I picture her, smug as ever, and my blood boils. But we're not waiting for her next move. That afternoon, I rigged decoys at Sarah's place, same trick, fake outlet, hidden logger. Tom locks his grill power in a steel box. Priya swaps her breaker for a smart one I lend her, pinging me every fluctuation. We're a machine now, gears turning, waiting to snap shut. And at 2:03 a.m., it does, my phone blares, Sarah's outlet triggered. I flip to her feed, and there's Tyler again, clueless, plugging in. Flash. Pop. A muffled yelp. Smoke drifts over the fence, and I'm grinning so hard my face hurts. But it's not enough, she's still out there, unrepentant. By noon, the HOA drops a letter in my mailbox, violation notice, $400 fine, unauthorized electrical setup. I laugh, loud and bitter. Karen's flipped the script, crying foul to her buddies on the board. Brian's signature's at the bottom, all pomp and no spine. I storm inside, grab my evidence stack, screenshots, logs, videos, and march to the HOA office. The clerk, Emily, blinks as I slap it down. This, I say, voice steady but blazing, is theft. For months, 10 properties, thousands of kilowatt hours. She's the hazard, not me. Emily flips through, eyes widening. She plugged in here too? She whispers, pointing to Raj's RV shot. I nod. Check your bylaws. Section 9C, utility theft. I want a hearing. That night, the chat's on fire, 18 members now, neighbors I didn't even know had outlets. Lisa's husband, Dan, pulls power bills showing spikes since January. Tom's got breaker logs matching Karen's party nights. Priya's smart breaker pings again. Another attempt. Another fried charger. We're building a fortress of proof, brick by brick, and it feels good, damn good. But Karen's not quiet either. Sarah spots her at the clubhouse, ranting to anyone who'll listen. They're ganging up on me. It's harassment. I smirk, picturing her flailing, desperate. She's got no idea the tidal wave we're about to unleash. Friday rolls around, and the HOA meeting's a circus. 30 of us crammed in. Karen front row, arms crossed, radiating defiance. I take the floor, laptop hooked to the projector, and let it rip. Footage of Tyler sneaking, logs of stolen what's, neighbors' testimonies scrolling like a war memorial. The room's silent, then explodes, shouts, cheers, a few gasps. Karen leaps up, voice shrill. This is a witch hunt. You're jealous of my lifestyle. But Greg, the HOA prez and her old pal, shifts in his seat, face pale. Even he can't dodge this. I slide him a folder, police report included, filed after Tyler's last stunt. Your move, I say, voice low, electric. She storms out, nearly toppling the snack table, but the vote's unanimous. Her privileges are toast, investigation pending. We're buzzing, unstoppable, when Dan drops the kicker. My bill's up $200 since she got that ATV. Anyone else? Hands shoot up. Tom, Priya, Raj, half the room. It's not just justice now, it's a reckoning. Karen's empire of cords is crumbling, and we're the ones pulling the plug. But I know her, she'll claw back. And when she does, we'll be ready, cameras rolling, data locked. This isn't over, it's just getting hot. The air after that HOA meeting hung thick, like the calm before a Carolina thunderstorm, electric, heavy, waiting to break. We'd landed a blow, stripped Karen of her clubhouse swagger, but I could feel it in my gut. She wasn't down. Not yet. She'd slink back with something nastier, and I wasn't about to let her catch us napping. My phone buzzed nonstop, Karen's grid heist now at 25 members, neighbors texting blurry pics of cords and bushes, timestamps of flickering porch lights, even a grainy shot of Tyler hauling a ladder at midnight. We weren't just mad anymore, we were obsessed, a pack of suburban sleuths chasing a ghost in yoga pants. And me? I was the ringleader, wired on coffee and vengeance, ready to flip the switch on her whole operation. Monday morning, I'm in my workshop, knee-deep in data, when Sarah bursts in, eyes wild. Jake, you won't believe this. She's at it again. My decoy outlet sparked last night. My heart slammed against my ribs. Show me, I said, voice tight. She pulls up her phone, 2:14 a.m., a flash, a puff of smoke, and Tyler scrambling back over the fence, cord dangling like a limp snake. I laughed, sharp and jagged, adrenaline flooding me. She's unhinged. We fried 3 chargers, and she's still trying. Sarah's shaking, half furious, half thrilled. What's next? She's not stopping. I grinned, slow and dangerous. Oh, she'll stop when we've got her cornered so tight she can't wiggle out. Across the street, Mike's on his porch, waving me over. Caught her on my ring cam, he says, shoving his phone in my face. There she is, Karen herself this time, not Tyler, sneaking through his yard at 1 a.m., plugging into his unlocked shed outlet. My jaw dropped. She's escalating, I muttered, pulse racing. Not just the kid anymore, she's in the game. Mike's eyes narrowed. That's my fishing cooler she's draining. $50 of trout, spoiled. I clapped his shoulder, fire in my veins. Add it to the pile, man. We're taking this to the city. That afternoon, I'm on the phone with Duke Energy, forwarding logs, footage, everything. The rep, a guy named Chris, sounds like he's choking on his lunch. You're saying she's tapped. How many houses? At least 10, I shoot back, voice crackling with urgency. For months, thousands of kilowatt hours. She's a one-woman blackout. He whistles low. That's felony-level theft if it checks out. Send me the files, I'm escalating this. I hang up, chest pounding, and text the group. City's in. Buckle up. Meanwhile, Karen's playing innocent. Priya spots her at the grocery store, all smiles, chatting up the cashier like nothing's wrong. She bought 3 bottles of rose and a stack of party napkins, Priya texts, disgust dripping through the words. She's planning something. My mind races, another backyard bash, powered by whose grid this time? I grab my laptop, sync every neighbor's smart meter data, and there it is, tiny spikes, all night, all week, across the block. She's not just bold, she's relentless, a vampire in flip-flops, draining us dry while we sleep. Tuesday night, the chat explodes. Tom's camera catches Tyler at his grill lockbox, prying it with a screwdriver. Raj's RV outlet trips again, frying another cord. Lisa's porch lights blink out mid-movie night, her kids crying in the dark. My blood's boiling, hands shaking as I type. Meeting, my place, now. By 9 p.m., we're crammed in again, 20 of us, voices overlapping, anger so thick you could cut it. She's mocking us. Priya snaps, slamming her phone down, her breaker log's a mess. Tom's red-faced, spitting mad. That grill's my sanctuary, she's lucky I didn't catch him myself. Sarah's quieter, but her fists are clenched. Jake, we need more than traps. She's laughing at us. I stand, voice low, buzzing with purpose. She's not laughing when the law knocks. Chris at Duke's auditing her meter, says it's tampered. We've got her on video, logs, bills spiking since that ATV rolled in. Tomorrow, I'm filing with the city utility board, full complaint, all our names. The room ignites cheers, nods, a few hell yes. Dan pulls out his power bill, voice shaking. Up $250 since February. That's her parties, my cash. Lisa's husband nods. Ours too, $180. She's a leech. It's a tidal wave now, every story fueling the next, and I'm riding it, heart pounding. We end this, I say, loud enough to hush them. She's not just stealing power, she's stealing us. Let's burn her out. Wednesday dawns, and I'm at City Hall, stack of evidence in hand, 60 pages of screenshots, meter reads, neighbor statements. The clerk, a tired woman named Linda, flips through, jaw dropping. This is insane, she mutters. She's hit half the street? I nod, voice steady but burning. And she's still at it. We want an audit, restitution, the works. Linda stamps it, eyes wide. This is going upstairs fast. I walk out, sun hot on my neck, and text the group. It's done. They're coming for her. That night, Karen's yard lights up, string lights, music, laughter spilling over the fence. I peek out, rose in hand, she's hosting, bold as brass, while we wait for the hammer. My phone pings, Chris. Meter check tomorrow. Looks bad for her. I grin, fierce and wild. Across the block, Sarah's texting. She's using MY power right now. Mike's cam catches her cord snaking through his hedge. We're seething, but we're ready, cameras rolling, data piling, a net tightening around her. She's dancing, oblivious, but the clock's ticking. And when it strikes, she won't just lose power, she'll lose everything. Next morning, a Duke truck rolls in, 2 guys in vests knocking on her door. I watch from my porch, heart slamming, as she answers, all fake smiles, until they point to her meter. Her face falls, and I feel it. Victory, sharp and sweet. The web's unraveling, and we're the ones pulling the strings. The Duke Energy truck sat parked in front of Karen's house like a judge's gavel, heavy and final, its orange vest glinting in the morning sun. I stood on my porch, coffee gone cold in my hand, watching those techs poke at her meter while she hovered behind them, arms flailing, voice rising in that shrill pitch that could shatter glass. This is outrageous. I pay my bills, you can't just barge in. She squawked, but the lead guy, Chris from my call, didn't flinch. He scribbled on his clipboard, face stone cold, and I felt it, a jolt of pure, savage joy. After months of her leeching, her lies, her smug little smirks, the tide was turning, and we were the ones who'd flipped it. Across the street, Mike's leaning out his window, phone up, filming the whole meltdown. Sarah's in her garden, pretending to weed but stealing glances, a grin tugging at her lips. Priya texts the chat. She's losing it. Look at her face. I peek at the live feed, Karen's red as a tomato, sunglasses slipping down her nose, yelling about harassment, while Chris calmly points to a tangle of wires snaking from her meter. My heart's pounding, not just from the show, but from what it means. We built this. Every log, every frame, every furious neighbor's story, and now it was crashing down on her like a summer storm. By noon, the chat's a wildfire, 30 members now, buzzing with updates. Raj, they're pulling cords from her garage. Tom, found one in my hedge, snapped at myself. Lisa, her party lights just went dark, guess my power's safe now. I'm pacing my workshop, syncing the latest meter reads, when Chris calls. Jake, he says, voice low, electric with weight. Her meter's been bypassed, straight up tampered. We're talking 4,500 kilowatt hours unmetered, minimum. That's felony territory. I freeze, breath catching. 4,500? I choke out. At least, he says. And that's just her hookups. We're auditing the block. She's toast. I hang up, hand shaking, and text the group. Felony. 4,500 kilowatt hours. We've got her. The number hits like a thunderclap. $600 in stolen juice, split across our bills, our lives. Priya's pastries, Mike's trout, Sarah's roses, Dan's movie nights, all tallied up in cold, hard watts. My chest tightens, anger flaring hot and bright. She didn't just take power, she took pieces of us, laughing all the way. But not anymore. I grab my laptop, compile the final report, 70 pages now, a brick of proof, and email it to Chris, CCNG the city utility board. Nail her, I mutter, hitting send, feeling the weight lift just a fraction. That afternoon, a police cruiser rolls in slow, deliberate, lights off but presence loud. Karen's on her lawn, mid-rant to some HOA lackey when the officer steps out. Ma'am, he says, calm as a lake, we need to talk about your meter. Her jaw drops, words dying mid-sentence, and I swear I hear the neighborhood hold its breath. Mike texts, cops. She's done. Sarah's next. She's pointing at your house, Jake. I laugh, sharp and wild, watching her flail, blaming me like I'd rigged her whole life to fall. Lady, you did that yourself. By dusk, the HOA's scrambling, emergency meeting called. Greg's voice shaky over the speakerphone as he reads the charges. Utility theft, property violations, fines pending. Karen's there, front row again, but no defiance now, just a tight-lipped glare, hands clenched, as 40 of us pack the room, silent but roaring inside. I take the floor, voice steady but burning. She stole from us, months, homes, memories. Here's the proof. I drop the stack, photos, logs, bills, police report, and it lands with a thud that echoes. Greg stammers, we'll investigate, but the room's already won. Cheers erupt, fists pump, and Karen bolts, shoving past the crowd, face a mask of fury and fear. Next morning, a certified letter lands at her door, city seal, thick envelope. Priya snaps a pic, utility board, inspection demand. Karen ignores it, but the clock's ticking. Non-compliance means a subpoena, and we're all watching, waiting, buzzing with a thrill we can't shake. The chat's alive. Tom's bill spikes match her karaoke nights. Raj's RV logs line up with her pool pump. Dan digs deeper, pulls a year of records, $700 extra, all since she moved in. That's her parties, he growls, voice thick with betrayal. My daughter's birthday, lights out, cake melted. That was her. The stories pour in, each one a gut punch, and I feel it. Rage, yes, but something fiercer. Unity. We're not just a block anymore, we're a force. Friday night, Karen's yard flares up again, lights, music, defiance in neon. I'm on my porch fuming when Sarah storms over. She's using MY outlet. Right now, she hisses, eyes blazing. I grab my phone, check the logger, 2.8 kilowatt hours, spiking. She's daring us, I say, voice low, electric. Mike joins us, fist clenched. Let's cut it. We march to her fence, me, Sarah, Mike, Priya trailing with her camera, and there's the cord, bold as brass, plugged into Sarah's decoy. I nod, and Mike yanks it, spark, pop, darkness falls. Her music dies, a scream rips out, you monsters. And we're laughing, breathless, alive with it. The utility board's report lands Monday, $2,100 in back-billed energy, fine stacking, criminal charges looming. Karen's name's on every page, her empire of cords shredded. She's cornered, raging, but powerless, literally. And us? We're standing tall, hearts pounding, a neighborhood reborn in the fight. She thought she'd drain us dry, but we're the ones who pulled the plug, and it feels like lightning in our veins. The silence hit first, no hum of an ATV, no thump of bass spilling over the fence, just the soft rustle of leaves and the Raleigh breeze. It was Tuesday evening, a week after the utility board's hammer dropped, and Karen's yard sat dark, eerily still, like a stage after the curtain falls. I leaned against my porch rail, tea steaming in my hand, soaking it in. No cords snaking through hedges, no spikes on my meter, peace, hard-won and humming with a quiet thrill. We'd done it. Not just me, us. The whole block, wired together by her chaos, now standing taller than ever. But oh, the road to get here? It's a story worth every what? Hey, if this ride's got you hooked, smash that subscribe button. I've got more tales coming, and trust me, you won't want to miss them. Drop a comment too. What's your take on Karen's downfall? Let's hear it. Rewind a few days. The utility report, $2, 100 in stolen juice, for 1,500 kilowatt hours traced straight to her tampered meter, landed like a thunderclap. Fines piled up. $1,500 from the city, $800 from the HOA for violations stretching back months. Criminal charges loomed, a shadow she couldn't dodge, and the neighborhood watched it unfold like a live show. Priya caught her on camera, hauling that ATV to a pickup truck, sold off, rumors said, to cover the bills. Mike saw her son, Tyler, mowing lawns down the street, head low, no smirk left in him. Even her karaoke machine vanished, swapped for a stack of yard gnomes she scattered like a desperate rebrand. From power thief to quirky gardener, Sarah texted the chat, and we laughed sharp, victorious, a sound that carried. The HOA didn't escape the fallout either. Greg and his cronies resigned after the meeting, their Karen bias exposed in harsh light. New blood swept in. Ellen, a no-nonsense ex-cop, took the press spot, rewriting the bylaws overnight. Utility theft's a hard ban now, she told us at the next gathering, voice like steel. Inspections, fines, zero tolerance, done. I nodded from the back, sipping coffee, feeling the shift. She even asked me to consult on a grid safety plan, tamper-proof outlets, smart monitors, the works. You're the spark, Jake, she said, grinning. I shrugged, but inside, pride burned hot. Karen tried clawing back. Of course, she always does. Thursday afternoon, I'm tweaking my solar panels when she shuffles up. No sunglasses, no strut, just a tired slump in her shoulders. Jake, she starts, voice thin. I owe you an apology. I turn, slow eyebrow up. For what? I ask, sharp enough to sting. The power? The lies? The cops you sicked on me. She flinches, eyes darting. All of it, she mumbles. I didn't think it'd get this big. I let the silence hang, heavy, then lean in. It's not about size, Karen. It's about taking what's not yours, over and over, until we made you stop. She nods, barely, and shuffles off, smaller than I'd ever seen her. Was it real? Maybe. Did it fix anything? Not a damn thing. But it felt good, damn good, to say it. The block's different now. Friday night, Tom fires up his grill, waves me over. Beers are cold, music's low, no chords in sight. Sarah's roses bloom again. Priya's baking wafts through the air. Dan's kids bike past, laughing. The chat, Karen's grid heist, morphs into Crestwood crew, swapping recipes, memes, plans for a block party. No extension cords allowed. Mike jokes, and we roar, a sound that echoes down the street. It's not just quiet. It's alive, stitched back together by a fight we didn't ask for, but won anyway. Karen's still here, lurking in her house, but she's a ghost now. Ignored, powerless, a cautionary tale in pastel tracksuits. Last Sunday, she dragged out a battery-powered speaker, blasted some pop tune, desperate for attention. No one looked. Conversations rolled on, lawnmowers hummed, life kept moving. She switched it off, deflated, and I caught Mike's eye across the street. We grinned, a silent high five. She'd lost the juice, literal and figurative, and we'd taken it back. I check my logs less these days. Clean, steady, no blips. The decoy outlet's still up, a trophy I can't quite part with, a reminder of what happens when you push too far. Ellen's team tags every outdoor plug now, little blue seals glinting in the sun, and I've helped a few neighbors rig their own monitors. Simple stuff, but it sticks. You should sell this, Jake, Tom says one night, tapping his new lockbox. Call it GridGuard or something. I laugh, but the idea simmers, a spark I might chase someday. Tonight, I'm on my porch, sky streaking orange, the quiet wrapping around me like a blanket. A kid pedals by, regular bike, no motor, and waves. I wave back, smiling, feeling the hum of something new. Peace isn't just the absence of noise. It's what you build when the chaos stops. We wired it ourselves, fought for it, lit it up with every trap, every log, every shout in that meeting hall. Karen thought she'd drain us dry, but she didn't know us. Not really. We're not just a neighborhood. We're a current, strong and steady, and we don't break easy. So here's to us, to the sparks that start fires, to the grids that hold firm, to the people who stand up when it counts. Karen's out of power, but we're just getting started. And if she ever plugs in again, we'll be ready. Cameras on, coffee hot, and a whole block waiting to flip the switch.